Hello friends, welcome to my channel Best Tips, and if you have not subscribed my channel yet, please do that and don't forget to press on the bell icon. As the title of the video suggests, I'm going to talk about boredom in children. So let me start this video by giving you two examples. First one is where parents are keeping the child engaged throughout the day, and once the child is back from the school, he or she has his or her hobby classes, drawing, painting, football, skating, and the list goes on. And if the child is not going for the classes, he or she is given full attention by the parents by playing with the toys and puzzles, and list goes on. So the child is occupied throughout the day and doesn't have time to complain that he or she is bored. On the other hand, in my second example, the parents are not able to give that much of time, and once the child is back from the school, he or she is led to play by self or with siblings. So child complains on and off that I'm bored, and when the child says that, parent will give attention for some time, and then again the child is left to play by his own. So in these two examples, which one do you feel is better? Yes, you're right. The first one sounds like great parenting, and the second one is like the child is not given much attention. So let me tell you that the first one may sound great, but it is not the right way of parenting. Why so? We will discuss that. So, these days, in our busy schedule, we feel guilty that we are not able to give enough time to the child. So, we try to make up for that by enrolling the child in all possible classes. I'm an educator and have come across parents who have enrolled their child in football classes when the child has not yet completed 3 years also. We as parents have become too competitive when it comes to showcase the skills of our children. Parents take pride in telling my child knows ABC, can paint, play this, can do that, and the list goes on. We are not thinking and seeing if the child is ready or not. Have you ever seen or heard of a 2 or 3 year old child asking parents to enroll for any of these classes? The answer will be no. So parents have become constant entertainer, and there the child goes through a single moment of boredom. So now the question comes that what do we do? Leave the child to get bored? And my answer will be yes. To to a great extent, boredom works in favor of your child. And before discussing the benefits of boredom, I would like to bring your attention to few points which create some major problems for your child. Number one is it can teach them that they are the focus of the world and that everybody is here to serve them. Second point is it can take away the confidence, make them dependent, and they may always look for approval and support from parents or others. And the last one is it also makes the child to accept the identity developed by parents instead of developing their own. So when we are saying that let the child get bored, I do not mean that you neglect your child. Please give a required amount of time to your child, but don't overdo this. Don't, when I'm telling let them come out of their boredom, it means don't give them ready-made answer, immediate solutions to their problem. Let them use their creativity and find the answers. So let's move on to what are the benefits your child can get from the boredom. Here, the first benefit the child gets is the child becomes self aware and confident. How that happens? Okay. When the child is not provided with any stimulus and the child is left to play by himself or herself and is bored, they get a chance to think. The child gets an opportunity to explore his or her likings, interests, strength, and try to understand self. The thoughts which come to him or her are their own. It also helps in creating their identity. When the children are free, they can try new things, come out of their comfort zone, test their limits, and take risk, which will boost their confidence. Here, by comfort zone, I mean the ready made answers, hands on activities, and support which is available all the time. And the child doesn't have to think for anything because that is already taken care by the parents. So, the second benefit of boredom is it encourages imagination and creativity in your child. Our mind does not always go where we want, and it is applicable to the child's mind as well. So it likes to wander and is more active when it has nothing to do. When the mind is bored, it starts showing the creativity in the form of daydreaming. When a child has nothing to do, they start exercising the most important skill, which is imagination. If our mind cannot imagine, how and what will it apply? Just think about it. So when child is bored, they will think and try various things to keep themselves occupied. Sometimes they will fail in their experiments, but because the task is self motivated, the child will continue for longer than what generally they do, and that also will be with their own interest. He or she will start using imagination and creativity to come up with new and interesting ideas for self, which would not be possible if that me time is not given to them. So, the third benefit is that the children develop skills like problem solving, use available resources, and learn other life skills. When the child is left to try and play independently and not provided with the hands on activities or immediate answers or solutions, he or she will try to solve the problem by himself or herself, which is the basic nature of human. The child will come up with such innovative and creative solution which will surprise you. But this can happen only when the child is given opportunity. If we stop intervening the state of being boredom, and it will help them develop their problem solving skills, and they will begin to rely on themselves. They will also learn to use all the available resources around them in various ways. As we say, necessity is the mother of invention. I'm sure you have experienced when you have a small child at home. They will be always active and going here and there, and they'll pick up anything from the kitchen, any glass and spoon, and they'll start playing with it. So that is their way of occupying themselves, not looking for others to give them instructions. Okay, why don't you play with the spoon and glass? They themselves do that. So the fourth benefit of being bored is boredom actually improves the psychological well-being of your child. When the child is allowed to apply own learnings and see his or her ideas being accepted, it boosts their confidence and helps in psychological well-being. As mentioned earlier, if the child is given an opportunity to solve his or her own problems, and mainly the problem of boredom, he or she will feel more valued and will be ready to accept challenges in a better way. And the fifth benefit will be children will learn to collaborate and build relationships. These days, children live a very structured life. When the child will get time which he has to do unstructured play with the other children or their sibling, he or she will develop interpersonal skills. The child will learn to collaborate and negotiate with others, and the child will exercise communication, eye contact, and read each other's body language, which can happen only, or which can be learned only from experiencing it or exercising it. So these are the main 5 points, and the most important, it makes the childhood happier. When the child is left to explore by himself or herself, they feel more happy, they are more involved, and they are more motivated. And you can take your own example. Whenever you remember your childhood, don't you start with the silly stories or things which you had done and you were proud of it. And now those things may find you find very small and not so big, but just think how excited you were that time, how thrilled you were at that time. So why don't we give those moments to our children? So don't take away those small moments, happiness and pride from them. Let them create their own stories which they can remember with smile. And I would say the child who is allowed to be bored today will not be boring tomorrow. Here, just a small example I want to share with you, that I have my 2-year-old daughter who came to me and asked me if I can give her my phone, and which I denied. So she walked away and she was a little upset. She came back after 2 minutes and she was covering her head, as you can see in the picture, with the box, and which was like big for her. And with full excitement, she was saying peekaboo. And she went around the house and told everybody peekaboo, peekaboo. And after some time, I saw her that she was sitting in the same box and she was pretending that she's going in a car. So, why I'm sharing this example is like in 10 minutes, she used this box differently. And if only I had given her phone, or when I saw her walking away upset, if I had started playing with her and giving my idea, okay, let's do this, let's do that, I'm sure she would have not come up with these ideas, and she would have not used her mind at all. So please allow your children, to come up with their ideas. And children take pride in their inventions, and it gives them a sense of owning their knowledge. So what do you do when a child says, I'm bored? So next time when your child comes and says, I'm bored, first thing for you to do is avoid giving the immediate and ready answers. You can say it's okay, sometimes being bored is fine, and then you prompt the child to come up with the answers. And maybe you can say, so how can you make the things interesting for yourself? Or what do you think we should do now? But do not suggest the ready made answers. And encourage the child to come up with the options, and these options should always include mostly outdoor activities, and their own games with the different kind of resources like toys and other things at home. Not necessarily every time you have to suggest them to use toys which you have got for them. And it's not, they have to learn to use things in their immediate environment. And if they are playing and they are doing something, avoid intervening until it is necessary. Please don't go and start telling them, okay, you are doing this, let me do also do this. Because the child will be in a flow of his or her own creativity and imagination, and when we barge in, they sometimes just lose that part, and they will start doing it with you in your flow, because we adult have this habit of giving our own ideas without even asking. So as we adult need that me time, and we, as we say, give me some space. So just think of in the same way the child also needs that me and free and space for himself or herself. And while these children are trying and doing experiments, be ready for the mess, and the mess can be always cleaned up. So allow your children to experiment with their own theories, and they are at their best in terms of motivation, confidence, persistence, creativity, and imagination when they are led to do what they want to do. So, with this, and as I have earlier mentioned, I would like to, stress on this again, that when I'm saying let your child be bored, that doesn't mean you have to neglect your child. Keep an eye on your child, what he or she is doing, but let them explore by themselves. So that's all for today. Hope you like this video, and in case you have any feedback, suggestion, or you want any topic or something to be discussed, feel free to write in the comments box. And do hit the like button, share, and subscribe button. Thank you so much. See you in my next video.